Good day and welcome to episode 28 of the Humble Pursuit Podcast. I am Bill and I'm joined with co-hosts on my right, Tyler, and on my left, Thomas. Good day, gentlemen. How are we doing?
It's cold out.
I'm impressed you were able to do the intro after such a big break.
It's been a long time, and I had planned on doing a joke at the intro, and I totally forgot it. Can we go back and do it again?
Just throw it in. Just throw it.
I was going to say on my right, joining me with the gentleman on my right is Tyler, and then just call out Thomas because he's not really a gentleman.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah. Burn.
That's
How
funny.
about that?
That was funny.
How about that?
Yeah.
It wasn't going to be funny. I never claimed to be funny. Hey, we're back. It's been a minute since we've recorded.
I think we need to do more than one before we say we're back. Right?
Okay, we're
it
not
might be
back.
another 8 months before we do this again. So
It's only been 10, actually.
right.
It's been 10.
See?
The 313 was the last one that we published. The Journey Continues. Apparently, it said it should have been to be continued, and then season break. So anyway, how is everybody besides cold?
Good, man. I'm doing well. It's been a wild 10 months. Glad to be back in the studio. I think the reason we've not recorded is because there've been some exciting things happening, and it keeps us from sitting down talking about it. So now it's here. We're here.
Now it's here and we're here. Well, I thought it would be kind of cool just to spend a couple minutes each or less talking about where you've been personally in the last 10 months.
Getting
Tyler.
older. I've been spending a lot of time thinking about turning 40 this last year. I turn 40 next week, I think, next month. And that I feel like that's led me to do a couple things. One was run a marathon. And I kind of forgot to train for it, or it was a little last minute. So that was a bit of an adventure. But it's kind of cool. We got to do it with some friends from the Journey community. It was intended to be a little relay race. It was. But we signed up too many people for the relay, and so I just decided to try to do it on my own, and just plodded along at a really slow pace, and got it done, which I kind of wanted to do, I guess, before I turned 40. And it is an interesting observation from that. There's no way I could have run a marathon when I was 20, even though my physical abilities were much greater then, but just over time, how your mental toughness, your spirit can grow, and how I'm really grateful that is more than compensated for my deterioration in physical health. So it's exciting going on to this next decade to realize God can still use me. I'm not wasting away. Physically, got some capabilities, but also some of that mental toughness, which is being put to the task doing jiu-jitsu with Mr. Bristow, who come to find out is pretty strong. We started jiu-jitsu a couple weeks ago, and that's been another just kind of, hey, how do we stay active and push ourselves to the limits, it seems like.
We got to figure out something else for this week, don't we?
Do we?
I think that our free trial offer is about to run out, and they just keep seeing us show up.
Oh, man, we need a gift card.
We need a gift card.
That's a little update personally for me.
You got a gift card, Thomas?
no.
So, have you been hurt in jiu-jitsu?
Not injured. Things have not felt great. Because it is an interesting sport to just say, all right, I'm going to start wrestling with this guy. The only way to end is for me to tap out because it hurts so bad, or I pass out. Like, that's neither of those are great, but that's how it ends. So
Yeah, we're 6 days past the last one, and I still got a little pain on the side of my throat from some little 16-year-old choking me out. So quickly. It was amazing how quick he could do that.
It's come to find out, there's different ways you can use your body to inflict pain on other people's body.
Absolutely.
That's me.
That's
What else? I turned 40. Just it's been a season of thinking a lot about myself. I think with that little midlife crisis, about, I accomplished what I want to, or what's the trajectory of my life, and almost getting nauseated by that self-centeredness. And it just hit me one day, guys, like, you have not been thinking about other people and the suffering in your community. And there's just this switch to start thinking about that, and just how life-giving it's been to orient myself a little bit more in the past couple weeks towards what's going on in our community, how to be involved, how to help alleviate suffering, getting outside myself. So just navigating the little midlife crisis, trying to avoid buying the Corvette, thinking about a skid steer as my little.
Are we going to have a surprise birthday party?
Well, that you should not ask me that. But.
Oh. Are we going to have a surprise birthday party?
You'll need to let me know when his birthday is, but we could probably plan something, yeah.
I have no clue. I guess it's this year. That's all.
Sounds like it's coming up.
This year, it's coming up pretty soon is what I heard.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll have to text his wife.
That's it.
I'll copy you on the conversation, though, to be safe.
Well, I think for me, to kind of echo what you were saying about trying not to look inside and see myself and what can I do for myself, the last 8 or 10 months, I've lost some people. I lost my grandma. I lost some close family people this year. And I think realizing we're getting to that age where that's going to continue to happen and probably happen a little more frequently. And just shifting your perspective a little bit and trying to understand just that idea is that everything that you've done up to, I'm 42, and has everything I've done up to this point been worth it? Has all of my time up to from when I was 17 to now, has that bonus time, have I put that to work, and trying to raise kids and don't know how to do that. Still trying to figure that out, but watching them grow up and kind of, I've got to let go of some of that, like the reins, trying to figure out how to do that. So it's all kind of the same conversation for me is who am I supposed to be and how am I supposed to start acting if I haven't yet? And just trying to keep that 30,000 foot view, of am I going to be able to look back and say, this is what I was supposed to have done? And we've made a lot of progress with Journey. I think Journey Works has grown and has caused us lots of anxiety and excitement at the same time. But I think sticking your neck out and doing some of these things is kind of where I feel like I can fit in. It's time to put some of these resources to work, that I've been given. And just trying to navigate all that at the same time. So I think we have a lot to celebrate. I think there's been a lot going on in the last 10 months, 8 months, however long it's been since we've been on here, and trying to navigate the time. Even that we literally didn't feel like we had the time to do this. And why is that? Hopefully it's because we're doing other things that matter and not just because we're busy. Busy is my anti-word anymore, tired of that word. But
let me see if I had that written down for my stuff.
So I just for me, I think I don't know that there was any. I didn't run a marathon, I didn't do anything. But I feel like I've grown a lot since we've done this, and I think I've got more to offer, and I'm just trying to be more intentional about offering it.
I've been reading the Sermon on the Mount, and Jesus talking about why worry about tomorrow. There's enough worry for it, and you can't add a single hour to your life. And so, just thinking about what you're saying about trying to manage and control. Like, have you been able to find that balance of like letting go, but also being a good steward? Like I feel like the big tension is, how do you let go and let God, but also be, owner of a business, leading ministries? Like, what is it? Yeah, that's the big struggle for me too. Is just
it's yes and no. I think I've made progress, but at the same time, I feel like my problem with that is when I feel like part of my gift is that urgency. Part of my is some connections, resources. Let's go out and be what's tenacious is the word. Are. And so if that's part of what you do, then then that's kind of anti-letting go in my mind. And so I struggle with, well, if this needs to get done and this is what we're doing, I'm here for a reason. I need to go do it. And then at the same time, like, well, that's not allowing me to trust necessarily, and that's probably part of it too. But the answer is no. I don't know how to do that yet.
Did you expect to get psychoanalyzed when you came in here today?
Yeah, I did.
Is there an
survey
online
Tyler,
that we can fill out about this?
I was looking at the survey results from the Working Genius yesterday of the unique combination that you have of, like, wonder and trying to figure out what the right thing to do is, and also far other end of the spectrum of, like, getting things done, and how, like, that's a challenging one, because you see things that need to be done, and it's really hard to not just go do it, and it's a great combination, but it's probably an exhausting one too.
Well, I think we can all look back. I think part of the reason we're sitting here and have accomplished even what we have together to this point is just because we do have those specific things that I've got things that I'm good at that you're not, or you've got things you're good at and I'm not, and all around. And I think we've been able to, for the most part, navigate that well enough to stand up a business, stand up a nonprofit. I really think help some people. I think we got a long ways to go, but I think that happens because we all do trust. I mean, there is some of that leaning in saying, I don't have a handle on this, but I know Bill does, and it's not like it's gone perfectly, obviously. But I think that's part of the reason we're here.
Right.
What about you? What's your life looking like?
Man, you guys have these deep philosophical thoughts and everything, and how analyzing yourself and what season you're in and all this stuff. I feel inadequately prepared for today now for some reason. But, as you were talking and I was ignoring you, one of the things that just kept popping into my mouth or my mind is that I'm one of those guys that, and I said it earlier when we were talking, watch me. I'm going to do this, watch me. And in business, it's gotten me a long way to, I'm going to outwork you. Watch me. I'm going to outwork you, and I'm going to get more jobs, and I can keep this business afloat, because as a single salesperson for a large company, because I'll outwork you. I'll outwork everybody out there. And that's not tenacity. That's probably pride and ego. That's probably what that is. And so that's a negative one. And and those scales can get out of balance. And I think this season of life for me was trying to balance that scale, that reliance that you talked about, and that balance that you talked about in your life with your tenacity versus just getting out there and bare knuckling something and getting it done. Shortly after we recorded our last episode, I went through a family emergency that in a sense I'm still in, and I had a 4-month period of life where it was, you can't watch me because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And the one thing that I learned from that, well, I learned a lot of things, but the value of community, the value of brotherhood, the people that pick you up during times that you don't even know where you're at, and they pick you up and they carry you. So things are getting better there, but that was consuming. I think I learned a lot of lessons through that, and I think I'm still learning through that. And a lot of it is, I even caught myself the other day. I was like, I want to have a conversation with my son about a situation, and I want to say, watch me right now during this. And really, he does. That's probably not. That's pride and ego. Watch me so you can act like me, because this is how you should get through it.
Which is part of that letting go and trusting that he's got the resources to do it.
Dang you.
I was at a funeral last week as part of what I was talking about, and I talked to some people that I grew up with. I spent a lot of time at their house. I mean, family, friends. I mean, I spent a lot of time there when I was a kid. So they're, in a way, they're both mentors to me, real role models to me. And it was funny because I grew up with their son. We were close friends, still are. And we were having this conversation about, and they were asking about our kids, and I haven't seen them for a while. And I told them, I said, at the end of the day, I realize now what you guys were dealing with when we were kids. and know that you didn't know what you were doing either, because I'm 42 and I still don't know. And we have this whole conversation and they're in their 70s and they're like, but you just do the best you can. You love your people, like to your point, and you just do the best you can. And I think you could go back to what all of our stories are and all the things we're trying to do, but it all boils down to that very fact that we don't know where all this is going to end, and we don't even know how to execute it along the way, but we know why we're doing it. And I think that's part of what we're all doing here. That's so it was a meaningful conversation for me to have with them at the time in their life where they're retired and they're kind of moving to a different place that they don't know how to deal with either. I mean, they're trying to navigate that, and we always think that, well, you'll know when you get there, or maybe, or that's the goal, but you get there and realize I don't know if this is right either.
So serious question: have you guys apologized to your parents?
Oh, early on, 20, probably 19, 20.
Really?
But about you're saying after you started to parent and realized,
absolutely.
No, I probably need to now.
Yeah, but I got a phone right here. We can do that live on the air. I remember distinctly a day that I did that, and I just called my mom up. It's like, I just want to say I love you and I'm sorry. 'Cause, yeah, it's crazy. On the fun stuff, we went on a family cruise, which was amazing. Had a great time doing that. Done some other fun things. Got another cruise on the horizon, and going to London and Paris soon. So if you don't hear from us, it's because I'm in London. Maybe I'll do a solo podcast from there.
You should.
In Paris. We went deer hunting. How many deer did you get this year, Thomas?
Got one.
You got one? All
right. Which is, it's interesting because I got one, and yet I packed out 3. So
How did that happen?
I'm not sure how that happened. That seems normal for my deer season.
If you got one, and you packed out 3 in one day.
Right. So I guess I packed out 4. Right.
Yeah.
Packed out 2 of Billy's. That's what he's trying to get at.
It was a successful deer season.
It was a successful deer season.
It was.
Not for them.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
Great time.
It was a good time.
So getting out there and just doing things with the brothers, that was awesome. See, I didn't have the word busy written down. I said I have a full life.
That's good.
So let's shift our focus a little bit, and we're going to keep this short today. What about Journey Ventures and Journey Works? What is the difference between Journey Ventures and Journey Works, Tyler?
Journey Ventures is the hub, the incubator that we're trying to use to launch different businesses, initiatives that use community to bring healing to people who are suffering in our community. So Journey Ventures, the Journey community, came together to launch Journey Works, which is a light construction craftsman crew that does work in our community, fixing up homes, businesses, and just a second chance employer, giving people a chance to kind of step into some leadership roles, which has been cool to see that happen. So Journey Works is an offshoot. Journey Homes is an offshoot of Journey Ventures, the kind of sober, intentional living community. So that's the difference.
And it's kind of crazy when I was thinking about it on the drive over here. I don't remember anything that was said during that last podcast in March 13th of 2023, but I'm sure that we were talking about getting the paperwork signed and everything is rolling, and this is just going gangbusters, and there's excitement, and that stuff has to go on. We just signed more to go to the next level, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
So, 9.5 months down the line.
It's getting figured out. I don't know how many people have been employed. 7 different people. At times 4 full-time employees. And I think it's neat because one of the jobs that JourneyWorks has done is there's a grant that an entity in the city of Solano received to do weatherization of low-income houses. But it's not glorious work, right? It's crawling in crawl spaces, being in attics, blowing in insulation, the type of jobs that already busy contracting crews are not going to spend the time on. So this grant money, I think, largely might have gone unspent if it wasn't for an outfit like JourneyWorks. It was set up to jump in. So there's, it's -7 out today. It's probably warmer in some houses and lower utility bills for low-income folks because JourneyWorks stepped up, and we had a great partner in the Community Housing Development Organization in Salina. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think that's the point. I know a couple people that had their houses weatherized for that due to this project. That in this weather, it makes you appreciate. Not only did it help the guys at JourneyWorks spend some money that they got from a grant, but it also, most importantly, helped the people that were in the houses. So it's nice to see that. Nice to see that come kind of full circle. That's really the whole intention of why we were trying to do that. I know there's been some other families that have needed help, or people. I mean, just this morning we were texting, or you texted about somebody who needed something, and it's something that these guys have the resources now and the abilities to go help them. Whether that maximizes the profit of JourneyWorks, it's a little bit irrelevant. But that's part of what we've been trying to navigate. I think it's appropriate to bring up the last meeting we had, talking about how do you run a business, and how do you have that serve people and be a mission, and how do you do that at the same time? I don't know.
Not an easy.
We're trying to figure that out
every day. Every day,
right.
Every day. It's figuring it out, and that's one of the cool things I think, though, is that we're not putting all of our eggs in either basket. We're gonna trudge through this with your tenacity. We're going to trudge with our tenacity, and some of the things that we've been able to do is just people that just don't have the time, may have the skills but not the time to do stuff. Being able to go in and help them, helping somebody now, coming along somebody now that got into a project and it was way bigger than they were actually prepared to bite off. And so we've been able to come in and help them out, and it just, those are neat deals.
And I think the focus often goes on to the work because it's just easier. But if you look deeper, you can see amazing things in the crew, and we should have the guys come on and do updates.
Yeah,
but,
we should.
I think it's their story to tell, but I would say probably some of the longest sober time a couple guys have had is this stretch working together and working on that as a team, as encouragement, having a clean work environment.
And tackling some of the things from their past that have resurfaced, and they haven't had to do it by themselves.
Coming alongside somebody, and this journey is going to be difficult, and at times this journey is going to suck, and at times JourneyWorks is not going to have business because of we're taking care of our people first.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Which goes back to the business versus mission, and why that's a challenge. I think we're kind of conditioned to say business is make your profit. It's all about the numbers. It's all about the bottom line. Time is money and all this, but trying to operate this out of no, we care about these people, and we care about where they came from and where they're going, and pouring into that, whether that means doing the right thing, even if it costs you money. Those lines get a little blurry.
And just today at my day job, we were onboarding a new guy, and I told him, I give this whole big long speech. I'm not going to give it here, don't worry. To people that I onboard, and I told him, that this where I work here and make money, that's what I do to earn a living. But what I do for a living is outside of this place. And I think that JourneyWorks is trying to encapsulate both of those things. Is that a word?
I think you missed an S.
Encapsulate.
But
was really close.
We're with you.
It tries to get both of those things together. What you do for a living and earn a living.
Well, I think one of the things we can all agree on is I don't want to be known as an IT guy. You don't want to be known as a dirt guy. You don't want to be known as a cabinet guy or any of those titles. Like, that's not what we're doing every day. That's not why we get up every morning. It's not what our purpose is. But there's also a reality that we have families, and you have to make money, and that it's not all pretty and easy. And I don't want to be the naysayer But always, like with JourneyWorks, how many times have we found out, like, this isn't going as well as we thought, or this is a struggle, or cash is a problem, or, I mean, there's real things that come out of this. There's realities that you have to take into effect if you want to go do these things, but understanding that my identity is not in the end result of the balance sheet. My identity is in why did we do this in the first place? And that's how I feel like we've been able to navigate that to this point.
I believe the proper phrase is soil, man.
Yeah,
soil,
it's dirt.
I'm sorry.
I am a dirt nerd.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, the biggest struggle, and it's come to a point probably at our last meeting for us, is just an abundance mindset versus scarcity. And I just, thinking, are we able to pay a bonus? Are we able to send guys to a job even if it's not going to pay? And how to navigate that, how to trust that God's going to make it work out, but also be wise. That's the messy part, and we're in it. We made it so far.
We've made it so far.
By God's grace.
And we always have to remember it only takes 2 votes to do anything.
Why didn't I get invited to
Which
that
has
meeting?
been helpful recently.
Yes, that has been helpful. All right, do we have any, usually we have a spiel at the end here. Does anybody have any other things they'd like to say before we start a wrap down? But I'm not going to do the whole spiel.
Yeah, no, I think so. I've been, at the beginning I mentioned that I've been trying to get outside myself. And the question I've been asking folks and myself is, what's the greatest human suffering that you know of in our community? Where are people struggling the most? And nobody has said like hunger, or lack of education. I mean, we have a lot of the basics taken care of, but a lot of the answers people have given is, lack of healthy relationships, drug addiction. A lot of the things that people have talked about, it seems like the answer or a way to address it is by healthy community, healthy Christian community, healthy. And so, that's what all Journey Ventures is about, is seeing that God gave us the body of Christ, and it's an answer to a lot of the ills that we face. And so Journey Works, Journey Homes, we've got Journey Rides, which is about making vehicle resources available to people, but doing it in a community-oriented way. And our goal is to just keep exploring that. So if anybody listening has ideas, wants to be involved, to shoot Billy a text.
And shameless plug for Journey Works, if you need light construction or painting needs in the Salina area, you can get a hold of us. We're on most of the socials, but definitely on Facebook, or reply on this podcast, and I'll take care of you.
I think the last thing to your point, I would leave is to say, this is our attempt to make a ministry or a mission tangible, is how I would say what Journey Ventures, Journey Works, things we're trying to do. Whatever thing you're working on, whatever thing you're called to do, whatever purpose that you have, whatever God has given you the gift to do, like, put legs on it. Make it tangible, make it usable for other people, to serve other people. I mean, that's I think people get these ideas, they get intimidated about, and if I go and actually apply for a permit, or if I actually go make this happen, then I'm committing. But I would encourage you to do that. I would encourage you to go put it to work, because the changes that you can see in people's lives is really phenomenal.
I think that's like that. Even though you can't see the bottom of the staircase, to have faith in the first step and just take it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
don't wait till you've got it perfected. Because you're going to end up iterating, changing, getting more people on board. Don't wait.
And then the last advice from the wise Mr. Lund is, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, bring friends.
That'd be wise.
So get some people to buy into it.
Yeah.
And we're those type of people. So sponsors. We're sponsored by Journey Works. They bought us lunch today. Thank you, Journey Works. They're out there putting in work so that we can, or did Journey Ventures buy us
Journey
lunch?
Works.
Journey Works bought us lunch. Excellent. Light construction, painting, winterization experts at all. and honest to a fault, and we'll tell you what we don't know, and we try to under promise and over deliver. That's kind of our motto. We used to have an unofficial sponsor, the world's best beef jerky. It was called Primal Jerky, and you'll still see a few bags of Primal Jerky on the shelves if you go somewhere. Key Rexall has it on their shelves. But alongside of it now is Rage Jerky. They did a rebranding over copyright issues of the Primal name, and they are now Rage Jerky, and they also have beef sticks. I haven't talked to them lately. They've been traveling the world, obviously doing well, and I need to touch base with them, and they need to send us more samples.
Those beef sticks, yeah.
Beef sticks. We need samples. I want to try the cracked pepper because that's the greatest flavor in the world, right there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, where the heck we been? We told you where we've been. Are we going to be here regularly? I don't know. So we're back today. So that's where we are. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Unless you're the person that keeps texting me that I have copyright infringements on my account and you're going to turn it off immediately. And it's funny because I have I
think that might be spam.
Yes, it is spam. It is. I get it everywhere.
Last March it was Twitter, but it's X now.
Oh, it's X.
So people can still find us.
Sorry,
my bad.
Sorry, Elon.
Find us on X. We are not sponsored by Elon Musk.
Yes.
Just going to throw that out there because we would have a gold-plated wall or something behind us if we were. Not yet. But in closing, I would say remember to never settle, never give up, live life with urgency. Thomas talked about that to the fullest and in abundance. Face your legacy every day. That's a big one to me. And remember, the only day guaranteed is yesterday. Do you have something?
No.
It looks like you have a thought.
For Thomas, Billy, and myself.
Oh. For Thomas, Billy, and myself.
You just lost your job.
You got to read the rest of it. No. You got to, no.
Oh.
Do it again.
For Thomas, Billy, and myself, God bless. We're out.
We're out.